Genji, nerfed. D.va, nerfed. Sombra, nerfed. Zarya, nerfed. Kiriko, nerfed. Everyone's getting nerfed. Now I say everyone, this is only 5 heroes out of 35 currently in the game, but Blizzard did say that they were not going to be making any changes until Season 2 at the earliest. And when are all these characters getting nerfed? Well, make sure you watch the whole video till the end to find... No, I'm kidding. It's November 15th. Nerfgate is happening November 15th. I won't make you skip through the whole video to find out, but I will ask you to nerf that subscribe button. Go on, it's new, shiny, and black and white for some reason now. But yeah. In a blog post in mid-October, Blizzard said they would not be making changes to any characters until the second competitive season. Unless characters are full-on broken, of course, in which case they're just going to take them out for weeks on end. But Blizzard's thought at the time was that the game was pretty damn balanced, except maybe Zarya's bubbles, where she can place both bubbles on herself or 2 bubbles on one other person. Not at the same time, but still, an elongated bubble is pretty OP. But Blizzard said they were going to keep an eye on this and just see how it plays out, to potentially change it next season. But they've decided to go against their word here, you cheeky liar Blizzard, and rather than potentially change Zarya next season and not touch anyone else, they're changing 5 heroes. Genjis are getting their ammo reduced from 30 to 24, and their shuriken damage reduced from 29 to 27. And some of these numbers may sound like small increments here, but they make a big difference in-game. And I personally think Genji kind of needed this. To me, he was the standout person, except maybe Zarya, who definitely needed a nerf. Because he can hop over tanks, get past DPS, kill healers, and even if the DPS focus him with his reflex, he's still got a really good chance of getting in, killing a healer, getting out. And this is an issue for me with a lot of like d.va DPS, like Genji, like Tracer, like even Sojourn now, that they can get in, do damage and get out, often free of charge and often winning them games. And yeah, it's always been like a tactic and a part of Overwatch, but now without kind of interrupts like the flashbangs or dashes or anything like that to like just shut people down doing this, it can end up being incredibly frustrating to play against. So I'm happy with the Genji nerf. Zarya can still place her shields anywhere she wants, which I think is important since she's the only tank now, but going up against Zaryas and playing as Zaryas, it did really feel like you could get a high beam very easily and just destroy the enemy team. So now her barrier duration has gone from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds, and her cooldown for barriers has gone up from 10 seconds to 11 seconds, which is a much bigger nerf than you think, because if she was the type of tank who would bubble herself twice, bubble herself, that runs out after 2.5 seconds, bubbles herself again, runs out after 2.5 seconds, she's actually lost a full second of bubble time. This sounds like a nice balance to me. We'll see how this plays out, but I think Zarya is going to be much more fun to play against now. Because having a character fundamentally go invincible for like a full 5 seconds, and then when they come out of being invincible, they kill everything they see, yeah, not great. D.va I never had a massive problem with because she's already got so many counters in the game. Her defense matrix is OP to me, but only if you're not against someone with a beam weapon. But apparently a lot of people disagree and do think she is overpowered right now, and she's getting her fusion cannon spread increased from 3.5 to 3.75. And her booster's impact reduced from 25 to 15. Okay, in all honesty, her booster shouldn't have been 25 damage. Sombra. Throughout Overwatch 1, she always felt like one of the hardest characters to get right and get balanced, and it appears it's going to continue as a trend through Overwatch 2 as well. Her hack ability lockout duration has been reduced from 1.75 to 1.5 seconds. Hacked enemies are no longer valid targets for hacking for the duration of the effects, which makes sense. If you're hacked, maybe you can't get hacked. And the hacked damage multiplier has been reduced from 40% to 25%, which I think is very much needed, because if you got a hack like her ultimate in a team fight, oh my god, the fight's over like no matter what. And Kiriko, everyone's favourite new support. She has some issues with her swift step teleport, where it makes her invincible for like half a second. This has been reduced to 0.25 seconds. No nerf to Kiriko's damage output, which I'm surprised at, because holy crap, if you can aim, she's a DPS character. Like, step aside Moiras, there's a new DPS hero in town, and it's Kiriko. But those are the changes. You can see there's no massive ones. It's not changing the way anyone plays in particular. Most people probably won't even notice a difference when the nerf comes out. But I must admit, I have seen certainly Genjis and Zaryas on every single team I go against recently, and hopefully this will curve that a little bit and make people maybe, I don't know, play one of the 33 other heroes in the game. But then again, you know, Genji's just a really popular character. He's fun to play, he moves in a very unique way, and he should have high damage. He's a DPS character. So I hope Blizzard aren't making changes looking at pick rates and are making changes looking at like numbers and damage outputs and game wins and all that stuff, so that, you know, they don't end up nerfing fun players just because people like playing them. Now, yeah, Blizzard's current plan is to get these out November 15th, but this could change depending on what happens between now and then, obviously. However, in the Overwatch League playoffs starting October 30th, they will have the changes there, so you can kind of see how it plays, if you like them or not, that kind of thing, while they're being wielded by, like, the best players in the world. Oh yes, and you may have noticed that May's not in the game anymore. That is because she had a little glitch where she could use her ice wall to prop herself up so she's in between the ceiling and her ice block, and then if Kiriko teleported to her, Kiriko would end up within the terrain, invincible, still being able to attack through the wall. Hopefully it won't take too long to fix, maybe a couple of weeks. My heart goes out to Mei mains, especially if you played Overwatch 1, because you'll know this happens to Mei a lot. It feels like her wall, her ice wall, causes so many glitches and issues whenever new updates come out, or whenever new maps come out, or now whenever new characters come out. I feel like she's one of the most glitchy characters in the game. I, for one, hate playing against Mei. I think she's an incredibly frustrating character to play against, even still now after, like, the fact that she can't actually freeze enemies. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit happy she's out the game for a little bit, but at the same time, Overwatch has been out for a couple of weeks now, and we've had 3 characters removed from play completely for, like, a long time, with Torbjorn and Bastion being taken out, that it kind of sucks to hear that this keeps happening. And yeah, it goes into the game as a service tie-in, like, this is what we get, they want to make the game as balanced as possible, so it's always going to be, like, moving those posts. New characters coming in, old characters coming out and being fixed, balance tweaks, all that stuff. It's just a shame it's all happening in, like, the first couple of weeks. We had a beta for testing this stuff. Overwatch 2 had a lot of developing time, in my opinion, for what we actually got out of it. And it's just kind of a shame that we can't play the game with the characters we want to play, for sure, all the time. But honestly, I was on the side of, let me just pay $70 for Overwatch 2, have a properly polished game with everything out at once, including the campaign stuff that they promised, and get rid of the battle pass and all that stuff, so that I can just get a nice drip feed of cool cosmetics. I don't blame Blizzard for choosing to go down the free-to-play route. It's a smart business decision. I just think there's some obvious downsides to doing it that should be acknowledged, and I think most can agree with me that this implementation of a free-to-play game with Overwatch 2 has kind of been a little bit of a disappointment. Anyway, if you watched to the end, hit the like button, and thank you for watching.